so your oversoul is then showing me, but in this other life, look at all the golden light, so at a soul level, we never are separated from God. But in those moments and the layerings of like different dimensional spaces that we find ourselves to be in, not density, because you're in a body in these lives, but even in this life, we know we can feel that we're in different frequency bands, that when you dropped pretty low. So we're going to go in and help resolve it. Welcome to the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast, where we speak about all things related to spirituality, soul level healing, intuitive guidance, frequencies, and much more. I'm Amy Sikarskie, licensed vocational nurse, past life hypnotherapist, master intuitive energy healer, and a clairvoyant physical channel. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Spirit School Online, where we offer courses in energy therapy, free guided meditations, courses and information around learning to connect in with your spirit guides, and much more. You can find me at amysikarskie.com and offerings at spiritschoolonline.com. Hi everyone, this is Amy Sikarskie. Welcome to today's energy therapy session. I've invited my friend Noreen to the podcast today. Hi Noreen.
Hi Amy.
I'm so happy that we were able to connect and to receive your email volunteering to join. So right off the bat, I want to thank you because I know that the messages and the experience will be helping yourself, but I also feel like it's going to help a lot of others. Somebody might be going through a similar thing or receive similar message that you receive. And then also if somebody is looking into working in the field of energy therapy, it's always like kind of a nice behind the scenes experience to see how other healers also work. So thank you, love.
Thank you. I'm your student first, then your friend. But I've really enjoyed all the knowledge and stuff that I've learned connecting with you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been really nice. And I think that's one thing I just want to share really quick is that we all find each other. And, I learned so much from so many of my friends. So I'm so happy that we were able to keep the relationship going.
No, absolutely. Because there's lots of teachers out there, right? But then there's one that kind of clicks because obviously you resonated. And so, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, love. Today, what we'll do is I will tune in and let you know what energies are here to support, bring through any messages that first want to flow in, and then I'll do an energy scan and let you know what we're being guided to look at or work with today. Um, yeah, I feel like there might be some past life stuff coming in. I can feel that energy shifting. And you and I spoke about just a few minutes before we got on the camera that we were feeling the energy shift. So I feel really called to share that this work that we'll be working with today has already started through dimensions in different times and space. And so, what I'm getting is today I'm hearing the word cleanup. We'll be doing a little bit of cleanup of work that you've already been working on from a soul
Okay.
level, behind the scenes with your guides, and also anything that you've been working on in this lifetime. And when we say, what does that mean working on? People can like, well, what does that mean? So we work with energy, with our thoughts and our emotions and processing, is what I'm hearing. And then also in meditation or any of your self sound healing sessions or Reiki sessions, that's also how you can help clear and reset your energy. But Archangel Ariel is here, and I'm seeing the seventh layer of your energy field. So the dimensional space between your seventh up to your 12th and even to the 16th. And those are frequency realms where we stay in spirit before coming into the human body. So this is like a soul level. If you go to the Michael Newton theories of the format he's laid out of life between lives, this is the space that I see So it's
Okay.
like your energy of your spirit, your soul is speaking to you here. And I'm hearing to help you clear and resolve timelines. So this is not only past life experiences in that. What do you feel? What are you struggling with? Or what emotions and thoughts do you have in this body and those other human forms? So we look at time as all happening at once. So if we say, okay, well, you have 5 other lives and you're all kind of going through the same thing. So that's one way of looking at it.
Okay.
But what I'm seeing is your oversoul also looking at it from above and saying, okay, how can we clear that karma or how can we mend these frequencies? They look like threads. So I see your oversoul. It's kind of like if every life was like you're a marionette, a puppet with the strings.
Mm-hmm.
Your oversoul has these lines, so these threads of light. One is lit up in a silvery white color. One is a bright golden copper frequency. And then I see a couple of them that are frayed and dim. There's not a lot of light in it. And those lifetimes would have been where you felt you lost your connection to your soul or to divinity, to God. And my guides, they really want me to clarify that these streams and these connections are to your oversoul, your soul frequency. But when we feel that we're connected with ourself in a life and we feel the presence of divinity, we might in that reality have felt that it was a frequency to heaven or to God. So they really want to share with you that you never were disconnected completely from yourself. We always have our own energy and you were never disconnected from God or source, but it could have felt that way because this pure beautiful light coming in, you would have noticed that there was some form of a separation and a fraying within that connection. For example, Archangel Metatron's here and he's talking about clarity within the human form and how we process things mentally. And we try and make it into a linear way so that it makes sense. So, in one reality, I see a couple. One, you were a man, there's another woman there. So, there's something going on with that relationship. At first, I thought it was 2 lives, but it's one. There's a man and then a woman. But in that life, you lost the connection and you basically are cursing, like, God, why did you forsake me? Like you're really upset in that life. So your oversoul is then showing me, but in this other life, look at all the golden light, So at a soul level, we never are separated from God. But in those moments and the layerings of like different dimensional spaces that we find ourselves to be in, not density because you're in a body in these lives, but even in this life, we know we can feel that we're in different frequency bands that when you dropped pretty low. So we're going to go in and help resolve it.
Okay.
And all this info is flowing through. And it's so funny because I had a format, as I mentioned, and then here we go. So I love how spirit works. So let me share with you who else is here as far as holding space for session today. So we've already had Archangel Ariel flow in. Amazing. Metatron is here with messages. You have Sindolphin, and he's really showing me all of these sound instruments. And I see your crystal bowls behind you, and I know that you understand. Yeah,
Yes.
all about how important music and vibration sound is for our energy health, our health of our energetic body. And I'm seeing actually, I've seen it twice now, harps. So he's talking about harps, and I see flutes and hand drums, so percussion. So he's talking about, these kinds of instruments. And it feels like you've had many lives with music. And it was, of course, quite different than music and how we have digital music now. This was all in person with instruments and the toning of your voice. And then I'm also seeing how like stomping feet on the ground gets a beat going, but it also moves energy. And so I see a life where you were doing that. It's kind of like it was a ceremonial way based on the effect or the end result that these dance experiences produced, but it wasn't like this reverent, oh, we're doing a ceremony. It was more that you were living in the flow with the harmony and the beats of life, they're saying. Like you were living with the frequency of nature and earth, and there was no distinction. So every day you were working and moving energy through in dance. And I see that in that life, the first life I saw, you're barefoot. And so you're really, one with the earth. Then there's another life where you have, it looks like silk shoes. So kind of reminds me of like really beautiful Balinese, like, the Bollywood dancers, like their beautiful outfits. So you had a dance or a life like that. Maybe you were, a Balinese dancer. But it's so pretty. So dance and movement's always been in those lives. And you might have noticed that in this life too.
It still is, yes. I played a flute growing up. I'm still big on dance, music, and barefoot. Yes, all of it. And the stomping, the drums, all of it.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
That's so funny because now that you say that, I just remember you showed me, I've seen a video of you dancing. Yeah. Okay. So beautiful. So you've had other lives in that way. And Sun Dolphin's definitely working with you, but I also feel Metatron even coming in, like he's supported you in that way in those lifetimes, this and other lifetimes. So we have Ariel, Sun Dolphin, and Metatron that are here. And let's see whom else. Michael's definitely here. I feel that I'm hearing you had multiple lives where Michael was very important for you. And especially there's one that's in Europe. It feels like Rome in that region. And so you very much worked with Archangel Michael, not just in spirit, but you knew of him, you spoke about him as a human. Like you had that connection where you were fully aware as a human. So many of us have so many angels and guides, and we might never really put a name to it in that life, but they're around helping. But you were very close with him. So let me take a look at your energy field and we'll see what's going on here. Getting a little info from your team. So the first thing I'm noticing is your spirit team is standing behind you. Well, to my left, and it would be your right. And so they're just showing me themselves as light, and there's many beings there, but they're all standing pretty close. So I just see this glowing light around you. It looks so pretty. And then we have the archangels over here. And the archangels are showing me that the first thing we're doing is clearing energy out of your aura. And it sits in front of your mouth, your throat, and your heart, but it's in the astral realm, it's in the fourth dimension. And so, I mean, physically, if you want to measure, it's kind of like 18 inches off your body. And we're pulling that out. So fascinating. The work is starting right now. So I don't know if you'll start to feel it, but it's starting in your energy field, which sometimes, unless we're really sensitive, we don't always feel it right away when we're in this fourth dimension, what we're doing right now. But I think you might feel it here in a moment.
I'm feeling it.
Okay, beautiful.
But
Yeah,
I'm not feeling it here. I'm feeling it here.
at the top of your crown.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, well, let me share. This is interesting. So, what I'm seeing, oh, they're saying you perceive, you can sense the energy. Yes, so you're feeling the energy come in. Out here, there's like it looks like weeds in a garden or something. There's these little streamers of energy that look like actually like they've died. There's no energy in it. It looks like I'm going to weed the garden of, some kind of vegetation, a plant that there's no more life in. And they're pulling that and they're plucking it off. So, this actually, you would say, oh, this feels so good. And it reminds me of this relationship or this project that you currently have in your life now. So, it's this life stuff that they're pulling that energy off of you so that you can feel clear, alert, aligned, and have the space to hold more light. But what's fascinating is then I see them starting to pull more and more energy that's underneath of it. And it's like cords that were raveled up inside, and that's past life frequencies. The energies blend into some of these lives where you felt that you were separate from God. And clinically speaking, with the clairvoyant picture that I saw, your connection was tampered. It was your vertical power current was altered, and you'd kind of shut your energy off at the soul star layer. So you were getting a little bit of frequency, enough where you felt really far away from light, like separate from the light. So the feelings and the vibrations are memories that are in your quantum field from that life. And this is what they're pulling out. So, in your experience, these are the emotions that I'm hearing: fear and pain. And then there was greed and envy and doubt. So, it's kind of like survival energy. I felt were greed because you were scared. So there was like a scarcity kind of mindset. So when you had an ability to acquire something, it's kind of like you would hoard it or put it in storage. And this is the frequency between multiple lives, because then I see one life where you had excess of abundance, and you had you had a decision to make. Were you going to share it, or were you going to keep it? And that's something you really work through in that life. You ended up sharing, but you also kept a lot. Like a lot.
Okay.
And it didn't really make a lot of like practical sense in that life, because people would be like, you have so much. This is enough for like 50 lives or something, right?
Right.
But the frequency was based in this other life where you had scarcity, and not only of physical sustenance, food, and, you know, nutrition and clothing, and a room or a house over your head. Yeah. So not only that, but it was also the energy. Like, how did you feel? So we've had experiences. Some of us have had feel like we've lived in a one room shack or a tent or a cave, but we were happy and we felt all the love and we were good, right? And then sometimes we could have a life where we live in like a 10,000 square foot, compound or mansion with everything we could ever want, even friends, we call them, or people around, but there is something missing, and that's the spirit. So they're talking about the difference here. And you've done a great job, they're saying, balancing it out. A lot of what they're sharing right now is for your own, I'm hearing edification, information. It's confirming for you. And then also for our listeners, because I feel like there's something there for some of the listeners to like, oh, yeah, okay. There's something there for them. But what we're looking at is this life where you felt a lot of separation, and they're pulling the roots, and I'm seeing like a root system out. So, one moment, and go ahead and relax. You can close your eyes. I want to help make sure we get this pulled out in a gentle way, because what I'm seeing is it is wrapped around. It's like entangled and wrapped around your left ovary, is what I'm seeing. So, lower left abdomen, in your ovary area.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, one moment here, we'll gently release it. And with that, I feel a lot of emotion wanting to come up and out heart and out your mouth. So if you feel a pressure, allow yourself to exhale and breathe it out. And there's a frequency along your spine from the past lives. It's more than one. I'm hearing fear, doubt, grief, anger, and shame. And I hear the word controversy. So you've been placed in very public positions where there was controversy and a lot of emotions came up because you were like, how do I handle this? It was a life where you had a lot of riches and wealth, and it was a lot of challenge for you to process and navigate through. So some of those emotions and thoughts of the self, they're receiving healing light right now. So it's kind of how we could say it's balancing out, where you could release that stress and let it go. And you might feel little faint parts of that in this life when you're faced with a challenge, or your guides are saying you view somebody else in a situation similar to what you've had in a past life.
Mhm.
And of course, like, you're compassionate and you hope things work out for them, but it kind of shocks your nervous system like a zing, like you're like, oh gosh, oh man, I'm glad that's not me. Like, whoa, because you can like feel it. You went through it. Does that resonate?
Oh my God, yes. My legs turn into jello. That's the first thing that happens anytime there's a situation like that. And I witnessed someone else go through something very controversial actually quite recently. And my immediate reaction is my legs turn into jello. It's like I want to leave. My soul wants to float away because it's scary.
Yeah,
So
because
totally.
yeah, firsthand and your soul remembered. And then it kind of makes this like, they're saying like it opens a gateway, or the flood of emotion and memories come through. And so you clairsentiently feel it, and it's in your quantum field, it's in your energy. And so it gets activated, right? So what they were sharing is we're calming that down. And you
Right.
should, yeah, notice a shift that in the future it doesn't hit so hard, right? Yeah. So working here. Thanks for confirming.
No,
Mhm.
everything you've said so far has been very spot on. I'm just not talking in between, so I'm not interrupting the flow of what you're saying and what's coming through. But once we're completely done, I mean, so far everything has been spot on.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's moving through everything that I share it, then your guides. You have a healing team of angels here. It's so beautiful. I'm seeing the energy move and work through. And I see these bands of light in front of you. And it's so pretty. There's a lot of purple and then
Mhm.
some green, which blends to aqua, and then a beautiful deep ocean blue in front of you. And what they're showing me, so it's very rich, but it's not so opaque that I can't see through it. So it's just this beautiful light in your aura, and they are charging you up with that energy for stability. And what's so fun is I just heard the word friendship. So, yeah, I'm feeling like maybe there was something within your energy signature, probably stemmed in another life, where you had troubles with friendship, like you wanted a friendship or you were lacking. And then, sometimes our thoughts can create our realities. So your guides are saying there were opportunities in that life for friendships, but you believed that there weren't, or there were limitations placed on it. So you stepped away. You were like, well, I really, really want friends, but this person isn't good enough, or but I don't want that kind of a friend, or no, they don't like me. So either you had a judgment on them or you felt like they were judging you. They're clearing that out so you can feel the vibration of what is a true friend, and it's like you stay who you are in your frequency, they stay who they are, and you talk about life and you recognize strengths or weaknesses, but it's like we're there for each other kind of energy. And so that is also a healing that's taking place where they're literally pulling these little flakes out of your aura at your heart that look like microchips. So to me, I feel like it's programming, and they're literally pulling it out like surgery. They're going in and finding these tiny little pieces of energy, and they're pulling them out. and then they're replacing it with just pure energy. There's no program in it. It's just fuel, kind of like frequency of that way. So your heart chakra will be receiving this healing that is going to help you reset. And you may or may not in this life, you can share in a moment, understand like maybe you've had these experiences or not, but I'm seeing this is helping you again, quantum field your other lifetimes. They're all around you right now and they light up. And so there's like three and then a half. So one was kind of, so we'll say like three and a half or four lifetimes where that was bothering you and it kept playing out over and over again. And so we have Archangel Meditree out here now, and she's very soft and she's amazing in that she's powerful. Like she knows how to do work. She's an archangel, of course, but she's kind and gentle and brings that feminine mother sister energy. And I see her working with you. And I'm hearing the word sisterhood, and your soul is saying, well, what you really needed to really fully heal would be a relationship of sisterhood in different lifetimes. And so you did go out and you created that and it helped to heal you, but that programming was still there's still a tiny bit of it that was there and they've pulled it out now. So it's kind of fascinating to me what I see coming up in sessions and with the collective is that we're doing, I think they said that at the beginning, something like cleaning it up. You've done tons of work, like you've done so much, and we're just going in and finding all the little pieces to finally resolve these experiences. Um, and this would be something that you would have carried with you this whole life, and it would just pop itself into your reality every now and then as emotion or thoughts. And your guides are saying, even memories like in a lucid dream state, you've seen past lives come through. So, is there anything that you'd like to share or questions that you have?
No, I'm just intrigued and listening to all the information that's coming through. I don't think I've struggled with friendships in this lifetime, but you did say that it's like with past life stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
other than the normal, like, as you get older, you come into your skin more. Other than that, I don't think I've struggled with friendships, thankfully.
Yeah.
Um, what else did you say? And I could feel the stuff releasing. And I felt like a basket case there internally for a moment because I wanted to laugh. Like I felt lighter and I wanted to bust out laughing. And then you said something else, and suddenly, like, I wanted to cry. So I
Aw.
could feel all the stuff coming up too as you were talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it flows. Oh, beautiful. I'm glad that it's processing out.
Yes.
Feel free to laugh and to cry. Yeah, that's so good. Yes, I don't think it really was because you'd mastered it. You had found the balance within. In this life, it was kind of like one where you could look back and prove to yourself, like, yeah, look, I the friendship thing, like I got that, I figured it out, but that frequency was still there. So what I'm seeing is like you've regulated it is the word I'm hearing. You tampered it down, you regulated it, and the way it would have come up would have been insecurities or feeling a longingness or a desire, for friendships. But you took action, I'm hearing, and you proactively, were open to and invited friendships into your life. And so that was a way to heal it. They were just wanting to clear out some of that energy. And it, like you said, it was helping the other lifetimes significantly. So that looks really pretty. Um, let's see what else we're working with today. I'm watching, they're showing me areas of your energy field lighting up in your aura, and then also parts of the body in the body. And it's like I'm looking at a neural network and or also like an electric grid in the body and seeing where everything's traveling in areas that might be dim. Or let me see where they're showing. So your team is actually working with you and they're running, you could say like a test, to see how the system is communicating and flowing. There was just something in your left shoulder that the way that I'm seeing it is like it skipped a beat. So the light should have went to it and then started glowing on a dimmer, but there was a glitch, so it was flickering and it was like skipping a beat. So they're working on it right now. Okay. So there's an energy there that we need to pull out. That is a thought form consciousness. This is all thoughts. It's from another life. Um, but it looks like a spirit, although it's not. So our thoughts are so powerful, we can create things. And this could have been an idea that you had that then created a form. Looks like a man in his 50s or 60s, the energy there. And so it's just sitting right on your collarbone. Um, let's go ahead and remove that. And then if I get any more info about it, I'll let you know. But I would say go ahead and relax. We're just going to pull that off of your field.
Okay.
Yeah, a moment here. As it released, there was a part of it that like popped like a bubble, like like the thought form bubble, the thought bubbles we have, the little emojis of the thought bubble. It's like pop. I saw something come in and pop it. I was like, wait, what? Why?
Go away, old man.
I know. I was like, well, now there's a mess. So then it popped. And
Okay.
then there were these little creature or not creep, yeah, energy that came out and started scattering like ants everywhere. And I was like, oh, I gotta clean that up. So there was two things that came in. Water energy came in and washed it away. And also it was sound frequency. It kind of zapped it so they didn't move. It's like it just stopped them in their tracks, and then the water came in. So that's really pretty in that you were supported because I was watching. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a mess now. But your team, they healed and cleared it. So yeah, so that
Wow.
looks really good. Let me see what else. Let me just see because I want to finish that area. I want to make sure it's nice now. One moment. So the the way I'm feeling is if I were you, that I would have had this energy kind of just like to the side of me on my shoulder, talking to me every now and then, kind of like it's not really calling you out, but giving you a hard time and pushing back like on everything you do. If it didn't like it, so it was like a thought maybe that you had within yourself, like, "Hey, really you really did that or you really want to do this, why?" But it was negative. So
Okay.
anything that you did that was like positive or where you stood up for yourself, it had an opinion about. And this was a faint energy interdimensionally that I do feel would have affected you at least subconsciously in this life. But it was from an other lifetime.
Okay.
So you may or may not recognize it. The only thing I could really say is that after the session, a few weeks out, you'll probably start to notice that you feel a little bit more at peace with your decisions. Like maybe you make a decision and then afterwards you just sit and question yourself. And it's that nagging voice that was there. It's clearing away now. I can't say it's gone completely, but I'm still working on it, but it's
Okay.
clearing away. So let me pull a little bit more out where I see it still connecting. One moment here. So I watch it, I'm pulling it out, and then it shows how it sits on your chest at your heart. And this is what I was going to share, but then I started channeling in other info. As if I'm you, it comes right in front of me and it wants to argue with me and wants to get right in my face. And I'm like, move out of the way. I'm like, get out of the way, buddy. We're not doing that. So this energy is being it's like being a stinker. It won't settle down, it's like really determined. It has a life of its own, it's telling me. because it's been given so much life force energy that it's been now created.
No.
So it's not a spirit, it's not soul, it's mental energy. There's a little emotion in it that was yours that you created in another lifetime.
Okay.
So let me ask Metatron about what we need to do to have it go. Well, he's saying it just wants to be heard. And so I'm like, okay. So, but always for the rest of this life, um, they just showed me a room in the heaven realms that, if you're familiar with The Life Between Life work by Dr. Michael Newton, it's a space that we can go, like the spiritual classrooms or the life review rooms, the healing spaces. That's where they're showing me. I'm like laughing because Metatron's like marching him away. So this thought form entity is clearing um this frequency. I mean, it literally looks like a man, although it's not, it's thought, but it's walking away like a cartoon movie, walking away,
Okay.
and it's marching. Like not too happy about it, like stomping his feet on the way out. So so he's taking this energy up to that space. We're at an oversoul level. They're going to be working with it with the higher self of you, your higher self, your soul, but also more of the spiritual consciousness of the person you were in that life where it created and where it began. And actually, I'm seeing some of it now. They're showing me it was a transference that created a life of its own. They're showing you were a little boy when it started, tiny, 3, 4, maybe 2 years old, like that whole, time span. And your mother in that life was nagging at you, like criticizing or questioning. Even if you did something right, she'd be like, no, why are you doing that? Like it was just consistent. Even if you were, right from wrong, what have you. Let's just say she taught you to do something a certain way. You went about it the exact way that she wanted you to, but she had something to say about it. So that energy started building within you, where then you would, that life, you always questioned yourself. It was like a habit that happened. Um, and it's like you can never do anything right because there just was no peace in making a decision and then being cool, made a decision. Let's move on to the next part of the day. It was just like sit around with you. So, yeah, that's clearing right now in that it's
Okay.
releasing from your energy field and will be receiving a deeper level of healing. And I actually see the part of you who you were in that life at different ages, and you're pulling energy out of yourself. Some of it you give back to the mother, and some of it you hold up to the sky just to be cleared by light. So you've gone back and done some of your own work in that space. um, but I'm really curious, does that sound familiar to anything in this life that maybe it's subconscious, so it would have like peeked itself around every
I
now and then?
Yes, I felt moments of what you were saying, like the decision part. I'll make decisions and I'll be firm in my mind, but then I'll question like, well, how would my spouse feel about this? What will the kids think? That sort of thing. Like I'll know
Yeah.
what I want, but then I'm considering like what are the people around me gonna think? And I'll question it in that way. Like what will the repercussions be when really I shouldn't? I mean, it's my decision, right?
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes it's the tiniest decisions is what they're saying. Like the
Yeah,
tiniest
yeah.
things. Okay.
Yes, I do have the tendency to overanalyze and overthink certain things, but I've come a long ways. I've worked on it and I'm just like, nothing is that serious. It's not a big deal, but it's something I've had to work through.
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful because that's exactly it. Like they weren't a big deal, but it was this little piece of yourself that you were
And the
saying,
crazy part is it was the smaller things that I would fret over. The larger things, for whatever reason, I was able to smoothly navigate those, but it was the silly small things.
yeah, they just showed me an example of like a child putting boots on to go outside, and there's two pairs of socks and they picked the blue pair, and the mom's like, well, why didn't you pick the red pair? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
even matter. Yeah.
Yep. I've experienced some of that as well. I love my mom and she's awesome, but I've experienced little bits and pieces of that as well.
Interesting. You just brought something up. We will sometimes have similar things in the current life so that it does present that opportunity for you to master
To
it,
clear it,
to
yeah.
clear it and heal it. Yeah,
Yeah.
in this life. So, but the source frequency that was lingering from the other experiences, that is gone. So it could also have been that, yeah, you've done it, you've cleared it, you've worked through it. So time to release the energy, that frequency. Sometimes it's a pattern, but this one had its own, it's like it was its own little self there. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Um, so there's been quite a few different experiences coming through today. I'm feeling mental, emotional, releasing cords and experiences from the past. I'm seeing them coming in with light, and we're bringing frequency in through your energy field that's kind of like combing through it. And as we're combing through, we're looking for knots, we'll call it, like little things that are in there. And they
Okay.
have found a few. Oh, this is pretty though. So there's one where there's like these threads of light, and each it's a vertical line and it's glistening, kind of like fiber optic. But
Mhm.
there's so much beauty in it. But they crossed and tangled and did create a tiny knot. Um, and it's all in this realm that's like a spiritual, elemental, angelic kind of realm.
Okay.
So yeah, you're not physical as a human. We kind of look similar in that reality. I just keep seeing two beings, a man and a woman. And the woman has, I laughed because the woman has wings, and behind over here, as I'm looking, there's a painting of an angel with wings. So I was like, wait, did I just subconsciously see that? And then my guy's like, no, Amy, the wings look different. I'm like, you're right. So I was like double checking myself. But I see her. So there's a man standing, and he reminds me of like a really tall elf, kind of.
Okay.
Like, gosh, I don't even know what movie we would have, but just think of that, like a beautiful realm. And then the female as well, but she's sitting by this river with a waterfall, and she's sitting there. She has long blonde hair and she has wings out the back. And it's just like, oh my gosh, so pretty. And her energy actually reminds me of a swan.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm asking them, okay, where are we going with this, guys? Like this is beautiful. So let me see. You got in a fight. It feels like you were the woman in this moment. But in these realities, we are so close. It's those realities where we're with everybody, it's a higher frequency, and we speak more telepathically, and we float like an energy body, heart to heart. We read energy um, more than what we might say or do physically. And as an example, the guides are saying that in those realities, you can't hide anything.
Okay.
Like, here people could be two-faced or say
Because it's
something.
all telepathic.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in that space, you can see everything. So there's a guy there, but it almost feels like he's you, but he's not. But your energies merge. Like when he comes by you, you merge. And there's typically what they're saying, oh, so pretty. When the energies merge in this reality, it's like a song. So it's like you might have a frequency that's a note, and then the other beings do as well. When you come together, it's this harmony, and it's like so pretty. But something happened. You were upset by something that he did, or you felt he did something with a specific intention, but it wasn't. So it was misread. Um, and so it created a disharmonic sound. I can hear it, like like
A
for us,
bad
it'd be
chord.
a really bad chord. Yes. And then I see where it nodded, and those, your two energy lines, like knotted, and it kind of looks like a loop, and then it folded over. So it's loosening because the knot has loosened, and now there's only one fold over instead of two. So we're working on this. One moment. You're making up. I see in the vision that you've made up. But
Okay.
honestly, this is so fascinating. Kind of fun. We're recording. I forgot all about that. This is so fascinating, Noreen, because a part of me feels like this is more or less happening now, not so much in the past. It's other dimensions. I feel like that's it's very close to the now time. And I know time is a whole different topic, but
Right.
yeah, it feels more or less related to being in parallel with your life right now. Have you had and I don't know if you've had anything in the physical world because they are two different people, but you were really sad. So I don't know if you've had a day where you felt really sad, like you lost a best friend or you had like something between you and your husband. The energy was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. Like, why are we not in frequency together? What happened? Why is there this discord between us? This is the emotion I'm feeling. And it could have even come through in a dream, but I'm seeing that you guys have made up or you are actually making up right now. That's why I'm saying I feel like it's very close to the now moment. Um,
I mean, when you've been married for 20 years, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we've had plenty of those types of moments.
yeah, I think it would be where you didn't have the moment really in this life, but you felt like you did.
Okay.
I don't know if you've
That
had that.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I've had that recently where I to my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like you're leaving. Where? And he's like,
Yeah, yeah. And then it's like, where's that coming from though?
yeah. And he's like, I'm right here. And I'm like, but for some reason, I feel like you're like leaving. Like, I don't know if it's a death or a trip or something. And he'll be like, no, Amy, I'm right here. I'm like, I know, but I can feel something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it'd be kind of like that, where you felt something was off, but then you're like, no, nothing's off.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be a frequency of emotion that you're sensing from your spirit self, which is beautiful, by the way. All of yourselves are beautiful, but it's just like so pretty. So there was something going on in that reality, and it is healing right now. And the sound harmonics are coming back into harmony again. So,
Okay.
wow. Okay. Wow, girl. I mean, this is so amazing that we're going through all different forms of realities of lifetimes. I'm interested how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling good. Like I told you, as you were saying things and things were coming up, I was feeling a lot of it. But I'm feeling good right now. I'm feeling lighter.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful. And our experience today is a little bit closer to it's a different technique, right, from energy work because sometimes I don't see the visions. Well, initially, when I first started, it was Reiki. And sometimes I'd be pulled into past lives and you would know something was happening, but we didn't really understand why or how. Then in some sessions, I'm guided to channel energy the whole time. What's beautiful and so unique in a way for today's session is they're showing you're working, your angels are here, your team is so with between you and I'm delivering the information as it's happening. And I think I only really did like hands-on energy channeling for a tiny portion of it to make sure we can move things through. Um, but they're saying that again, I'm hearing the word cleanup. Like you've already done so much work. This is amazing. Yeah, it's like trimming the dead ends, they're telling me. Um, you
I literally just did that.
Oh my gosh. Well, look at that.
Yeah,
Oh
even
my
the
gosh.
weed analogy that you were giving me, we just did that too. Like literally.
I love that. This is so fun. It's like they're giving you I'm hearing the word symbolism. The messages are coming through to, seeing the symbolism in your life, but they're also very much selecting those specific symbols to share with you to let you know. Because I didn't know you guys just weeded the garden or you got a
Yep.
haircut. So,
Yep. The analogies were perfect.
yeah, kind of confirmation that they're here with you. Um, this is so pretty. Right now I see this beautiful glowing fire and it's like a lovey fire. So it's for warmth and health, that kind of energy. It's not to transmute or burn, but I see it blowing. Yeah, I guess it's blowing up.
I'm lit.
Voila! But it's glowing and it's flowing up into your heart, and then around it is purple. So it's like this red and then the purple around it. So your heart space is receiving a beautiful increase of frequency, and your guides are now stabilizing your energy field. And that I felt like it looked like you were leaning forward at the shoulders and head, and they're bringing you back so you're standing straight, and then they kind of pushed your back and your hips a little bit forward. You had tipped forward. What that signified is your higher chakras being very much aware of your future and leaning in towards it, but then saying, wait a minute, why isn't the rest of me catching up? So it could be seeing visions and stuff and wanting it to happen right away. It will still happen, but they're like, well, you got to bring the rest of you with it to make it physicalized. So this actually is going to help you in your manifesting when you have a vision or something you're really thinking about. Now the rest of your body is going to kind of be a little bit more on board. So to help you as a technique, they're saying when you have a thought or an idea or a vision that you're really serious about, they want you to put your hand on your heart and breathe and connect with that vision, and then slide your hand touching your body so you can feel it
Okay.
physically all the way down to your gut and maybe just under your heart as well. um, and wherever you feel, because like I'm feeling different spots, it's like, oh wait, as I go past that point, it feels like it could use a little charging up. So we're bringing that vision into your lower chakras, and just sit and breathe until any what we would feel would be anxiety subsides, or any weakness, any lack of frequency till it fills up. And then they say, and then take your two hands and just rub them really down your thigh, kind of like brisk.
Okay.
Yeah, to push the energy down into your legs. So that way you won't be top heavy and wobbling into the future.
That's really crazy because yesterday while I was at work, I was sitting here and doing this. Like I was rubbing my calf all the way down, and I had no idea why I was doing it, but I was doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could feel it. You're just naturally connected. And you're like, oh, I need to move the energy down. Yeah, these are your hopes and your dreams and the visions and the opportunities. And Metatron's saying there are opportunities of timelines. So even if you get to that moment and you have the offer placed in front of you, you may or may not go with it, but you've still brought it into the reality as a possibility in the physical world. So, as an example, like if you have three places you want to go on a trip, and then this one looks like it could really happen.
Get out of my head.
Yeah, that's okay. So it's more than an example.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, they're just showing that like you have these trips. And so then you might say, gosh, look at this package. This could flow really good. It's a great price and the dates work and yeah, all this, right? You're like, huh, but I think I'm going to go with this other one. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll help you. That's so funny. They're
Yeah,
so
that's
great.
crazy. I was doing that today. I was on my cell phone, trying to figure out like which tickets were reasonable and that sort of thing. So
Okay.
another spot on example.
Thank you to your guides and my guides and the angels. I love when they share like this. Um, I want to make sure you feel comfortable and the energy will continue to settle. But again, you've already done so much. Um, you might have a little bit of yawning or energy released through emotion, even a laughter. You might still be clearing a tiny bit.
Yes.
um, but it looks to be only about a week for the majority of everything to fully have cleared and then your body regulated. And we use the word integrate. So I could say that, but I don't really see you absorbing that much. I feel like it was clarity and refinement, and we released some programming and connections from other spaces. So it would be more absorbing energy, healing into those places, which you could say. But anyhow, I'm getting really technical here. You look amazing. Give yourself about
Thank
around a
you.
week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any final questions? Any thoughts at all?
No, I'm feeling really good.
Okay. Yeah, you look so beautiful. I see you looking like there's a little bit of just a little bit
I
of
perked up, like you can see the perk up.
yes, I can see the perk up. Yeah, exactly. Like there's a little bit of energy deposited and it's gone and now you're like, "Hi."
Yay, yeah. Thank you so much. I
You're
really appreciate everything you do. And you know how I feel about you. I've been following you for years now. I've enjoyed reading your books, listening to your podcasts, taking all your classes. You've really helped me grow and expand and heal as a human. Thank you so much. And I love that we're friends too now.
yes. Yes. You're so welcome, love. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to close your energy field here. Put some beautiful, light around to help stabilize and help you through the integration. So as I'm doing that, I would love to just thank everybody here for joining the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast. It's been a beautiful experience, Noreen. Thank you for sharing such wonderful information with our listeners.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And we'll see everybody again next time on the next episode of the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast.